guys, how are you? This is Loise Githiga. I'm an immigration and refugee consultant at Milele Immigration Services based in Canada, Alberta, and we have an office in Nairobi too, okay? Yes, we have an office on Gong Road at a building called Marsabit Plaza. All right, my friend? Yes, so what do we want to talk about today? We want to talk about languages accepted in Canada for immigration purposes. And it's important that you know that Canada recognizes two languages, that is English and French, for immigration purposes. So if you speak one or both, whichever applies to you. And whenever you need to immigrate to Canada, you most likely will be required to provide a language test result, or you'll most likely be required to show that you can communicate in one or the other of the two languages. Okay, so there are two types as to when you may need language test. Either you're coming here as a permanent resident or a temporary applicant. And when I say permanent residency, it's things like express entry, PNPs, or even pilot programs. And for temporary, we're talking of studies or work permit. Now, I'm going to keep studies separate, and then I'm going to group the work permit and the economic pathways together, because that is what I'll be calling immigration purposes. Now, when you're coming here for PR or on work permits, you will most likely need to provide a test result that is required for that particular program that you're coming for. Okay, it's either for the program, and if you're coming for on a work permit, there could be stipulations on the language required for the NOC. That is the National Occupation Code. That is the job that you're coming to do in Canada. All right. So for studies, if you want to come to study in Canada, you may not always be required to show a language result. However, if you're required to show that for a study permit application, make sure that you take the studies option, the test that is for studies, not the one for immigration. What do I mean? IELTS, if you're going to take IELTS, make sure you take IELTS academic if you're coming to study. If you're coming through immigration, make sure that you take the required English exam for immigration. So ensure that you meet the language proficiency requirements for the program that you're coming from, and you can do either of the following 5 language tests. For French, you can do either TEF Canada or TCF Canada. Those are the 2 recognized tests. And for English, you can do CELPIP, and that is Canadian English Language Proficiency Index Program. And for that case, make sure you take the CELPIP General Test. For IELTS, that is International English Language Testing System, you need to take the IELTS General Training Exam. For PTE Core, that is the new language that was only approved earlier this year. The PTE, that is the Pearson English, the Pearson Test of English. Make sure that you take the PTE Core option. Okay, my friend, only take tests from recognized, or rather from IRCC designated agencies. Right? Don't just go taking tests in whatever places. Others tell me I studied in English. I don't know, I have one from my university. Those ones don't qualify. Make sure that your tests are from designated agencies and that they are valid. Majority of these test results are only going to be valid for 2 years. Okay? So make sure that they are valid. Now, there's an interesting part a lot of you keep asking me about, because when you're coming here, you find that you're required to provide a certain language proficiency based on whatever program. Of course, language is not the only requirement. Every program has other requirements, but language is one of them. So they may stipulate that you need a certain level of language, and you don't know what that means. So they will be talking of things like CLB. So what is your CLB equivalence? What I will do is I'm going to attach a link on this video whereby you can check your CLB equivalence, because your test result does not always necessarily mean your CLB. For CELPIP, that's easy. You find that there's a direct translation between your test result and the CLB equivalency. For TEF, for CTF, those are different. And then, of course, for IELTS, it's also completely different. You find that the only equivalency that we have is CLB7 in IELTS, whereby a 6, 6, 6, 6, 6 in reading, 6 in speaking, 6 in writing, and 6 in listening, it's equivalent to CLB7. But after that, CLB equivalency varies by the test score. So make sure you utilize that link if you need any guidance, if you have any questions on immigration, you need a second opinion, you can always head on to our website www.mileleimmigrationservices.ca and book a consultation there. My friend, this video is for education purposes only. This is not legal advice. If you need legal advice, make sure that you speak to me. Okay, thank you guys, and I'll see you soon. Bye now.